20 or more PWBA titles is an exclusive club. Lisa Wagner and Alita Sill lead the list with 30. 70s Bowler of the Decade, Patty Costello, has 25. 22 is the number of titles for PWBA Hall of Famer Tish Johnson. And 3 weeks ago, Leanne Barrette joined these superstars with title number 20 at the Greater Atlanta Open. Tonight from the top seed, Leanne goes for number 21 in the Greater Orlando Classic. Tonight's opening match once again is a threesome. Carolyn Dorin-Ballard, the defending champ. Samson Invitational champ Julie Gardner, and two-time Player of the Year Wendy Macpherson. The top scorer will step up to face Liz Johnson, and the victor of that match will continue the climb and battle the top seed Leanne Barrette for the title. Welcome inside AMF Altamont Lanes in Altamont Springs, Florida. We're just 30 minutes away from Disney World, and 5 ladies are hoping its magic will carry over to the finals of the Greater Orlando Classic. Hello, everyone. I'm Jan Schmidt alongside Lisa Wagner. We're glad you joined us for the final event of the Winner's Swing. And Lisa, Carolyn Dorin-Ballard is trying to cap it off in style.
That's right. Not only can she defend her title of last year, but it would be back-to-back wins for Carolyn. No matter what the outcome here this evening, she's had a great swing.
Well, in order to defend that title, she'd have to climb the ladder just like last year, but with a different format.
And there's been a little bit of discussion amongst the players on whether it's easier to win on the old format or the new one with 3 players in the first game. Earlier tonight, I asked Carolyn her opinion.
Well, that could go both ways. Last year I had to win 4 matches to win. This year I only have to win 3, but the problem is I have to beat 2 people. So it could be probably a little bit tougher. If I get through that first match, though, it's a lot nicer to only have to win 2 more.
We'll see how Carolyn and the other ladies handle the new format. Right now they're ready to roll. It's Wendy Macpherson, Julie Gardner, and Carolyn Dorin-Ballard. And there's the trio. Slapping 5. And Wendy Macpherson will be first up from Henderson, Nevada. 31 years old, been a pro for 13 years, and we've seen her on the telecast now for 3 consecutive weeks. 10 laying down, standing up, excuse me, 6 laying down. Julie Gardner stepping up now, also 31 years old, 5 years a pro, and she just won that Samstown Invitational in November.
Oh, what a great performance by Julie in November of last year. That's right.
Coming up high with her opener.
Wendy switching balls here to a spare ball, so a lot straighter at the 10. Just about every player out here does that. Cuts down the risk factor on making your corner pins.
Now Julie also doing that for the left side spare.
That's right, and lining up to go straight at it.
First look at last week's champ, Carolyn Dorin-Ballard, 34 years old, and on tour for 9 years. That didn't even think about turning over.
No, it sure didn't. I think Carolyn was a little aggressive there. She had very, very good high ball speed that time. Slid by the head pin, left herself a washout. Very makeable split, though.
Wendy averaged 220 for the week. Now she's also using a spare ball here.
Come on, come on, catch it! Just a perfect way to make that, Jan. Sends the head pin into the 10. Actually, I called it a split. It's actually not a split. If you have the head pin in the spare that you leave, then it's not considered a split. But, you know, it is about as hard to make as a split.
And they call it a washout. Normally it's the term you hear. Wendy Macpherson picks up her spare, the 3-6-10. Julie Gardner up in the second frame. All players clean, but no strikes. 212 average for Julie. Pretty light on lane 11. Carolyn Dorin-Ballard up now on lane 12 in the second frame. better.
Much better. That's pretty much what we've been seeing from Carolyn in the last few years, I'd say.
Ooh, chops that spare. The Professional Women's Bowling Association will return to Samstown Hotel Gambling Hall and Bowling Center May 2nd through the 5th for the Trek KO Punch Doubles. Join PWBA stars Kathy Doran, Debbie McMullen, and Dee Dee Davidson for the Pro-Am on Sunday, May 2nd. For Pro-Am information, contact Mike Kaufman at 1-800-897-8696. There's a look at the scoreboard with that chopped spare. Julie Gardner trails. Carolyn Dorin-Ballard's in the lead by 3 pins over Wendy Macpherson. Wendy stepping up in the 3rd frame. Her best finish 2nd at that Choo Choo Classic in Noonan, Georgia. And there's a light mixer. Julie Gardner now has to get something going here. Probably a little bit nervous. She doesn't have the experience of the other 2 ladies.
Sure didn't show on that shot, though, huh? Yeah, she is a newcomer to television, basically. She hasn't made a lot of telecasts, but she has her mindset on performing well on television, and we look for her to make many more in the future.
Now after the washout, the first time up on lane 11, now hitting the nose.
Right, not quite as aggressive as the first shot. The ball just hooks up in the middle part of the lane, goes right through the heart of the pins, left herself with a very difficult split. She has to slide the to the 10. Pretty hard to do.
Meanwhile, Wendy up on lane 4, going for a double. 6 count. Players are just trying to get settled in here. Carolyn picked up the washout. Do you think she has a shot at the 4-7-10?
Absolutely. Carolyn is an awesome spare shooter. But right now, she knows it's early. She's going to take the count, make sure that she gets at least 2, and focus on making some good shots.
Wendy attempting to convert the bucket. She wants to say hi to Jim Lee. Her and Carol Giannotti, they want to wish him the best and tell him everyone out here, all the bowlers are thinking of him. Covers that spare, and Julie Gardner now up in the 4th. And if she would double, she could get right back in this match. There it is, a key shot and a big one.
Julie threw that ball great. It floated off her hand, and her timing was just perfect on that shot. Great result.
Carolyn struck on this lane last time. Light. Doesn't seem like she's getting a consistent reaction. I know she talked about strips out there.
Yeah, our lane pattern this week was a little bit more flat. There was no buildup of oil in one part of the lane, not a greater buildup. So you did have to find a strip to play in where you are comfortable. And Carolyn likes to find a little bit of the dry, play up against the line of oil.
Converts the spare nicely. Wendy Macpherson is in the lead by just 1 pin. We'll be back in a moment. The championship round finals of the Greater Orlando Classic are being brought to you by AMF Bowling Worldwide, the largest owner and operator of bowling centers in the world and one of the leading makers of bowling products. AMF always means fun. And by MasterCard. There are some things in life money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. We're back at the Greater Orlando Classic. While we were away, a lot of strikes were thrown, but Wendy Macpherson increased her lead from +1 to +20 with 3 consecutive strikes. She steps up now in the 8th frame. Max score possible, 257. That would be if she continues to strike. And that'll change things a bit. Jumping through the nose, 4, 6, 7, 10. Virtually impossible to pick up.
Definitely going to go for 2. Save the count because she is on 3 strikes. she gets one that hurts her count tremendously, this is anybody's ball game, Jan.
Julie Gardner threw a few strikes while we were away also, but split, left the 4-5 when she was up.
Wendy's ball just never really traveled far enough right through the heart. 4, 6, 7, 10. She takes the smart move, gets 2. Still in the ball game here. Much closer though.
Julie leaving a 4-pin, covering it nicely. Meanwhile, Carolyn Dorin-Ballard, while we were gone, doubled and left a 10-pin and spared it up. She steps up now in the 8th frame with a max score possible of 227.
Carolyn's using 2 different bowling balls in this game. This one right here is a little bit more of I guess a more tame ball. The other one that she's using is a little bit more aggressive on the back end.
A little bit different surface on them also. Now, she's using a little duller ball in this lane, a little more surface. That tames the lane a bit?
Definitely. You're going to get a little bit of a roll in the front part of the lane. It's going to set up in the back for you. All the girls this week, all the girls on the telecast, their drillings are all very similar. Even though they do throw it a little bit differently from each other, they are very similar.
Wendy leaving a 10-pin in the 9th frame. Wendy still in the lead, just by 3 pins. Julie Gardner trails Wendy by 7 pins. And a big setup there in the 9th frame.
Way to go.
I just put Julie right back in the match. What a great shot in the 9th.
Boy, has this match been going back and forth. Spare for Wendy, and Carolyn Dorin-Ballard now up in the 9th frame and really needs to set up a strike. This is close. All 3 players within 7 pins.
Carolyn here is going to take a little bit of extra time. She's going to take a re-rack. Might be just a little stall for time there because she really does need to set herself up with a good shot and a strike here. Could be something that she can see. You know, from down on the lanes, she has the best viewpoint, so it could be something she saw.
Oh, yeah. Come on! Yeah! And that was a big shot in the 9th frame for Carolyn Dorin-Ballard. Look at some tournament stats here. 66 bowlers, 201 to cash.
Average to make the match play was 206. Look at that average for the TV show, 213. Just right to the pocket here. 10 pins in the pit. She set herself up. Look at the match here.
Incredible. Now Wendy, because she does not have a strike in the 9th, really has to step up and double. She is in the lead, but the other 2 players have strikes in the 9th and can easily pass Wendy. Almost a bad break and kind of a good break getting the 7-pin out of there.
That was just about disaster. The last 2 pins standing with a 7-9, which is virtually impossible to make unless you get it lucky and bounce it out the back.
Did you see Julie? I mean, she started to go. She paused herself. She started to go again. A little bit of indecision or a little nerves, but whatever she did, made the right choice. She can strike out here to actually force Carolyn Dorin-Ballard to double in the 10th. She needs another strike to go around Wendy Macpherson. That being Julie Gardner. Right now needs this hit. What a beautiful shot for a lady who doesn't have a lot of television experience. Well, Julie Gardner in command here.
Julie knows that the count on this fill ball is very important, because if Carolyn does get a double in the 10th, she's going to have decent count herself to stay ahead of Julie.
Big finish by Julie Gardner with 2:12, her final score. Carolyn Dorin-Ballard asking for another re-rack.
I believe her husband, Dell, wanted her to take a re-rack. There's Del Ballard right there, Carolyn's husband.
Carolyn stepping up in the 10th. She has a strike in the 9th. She needs 2 strikes and 7 pins to advance.
Come on, Carolyn. Lay off.
On the nose, and Julie Gardner will advance from this match. The lady with the least experience comes out on top. Carolyn takes 2. Julie Gardner will move up the ladder, but first, when we return, Carolyn Dorin-Ballard will have a tip on effective practice.
Sportsbook at Sam's Town Hotel, Gambling Hall, and Bowling Center, where you can watch and enjoy sporting events from all over the United States. As with any sport, practice is the key to improving your game. Setting up a good practice routine and sticking to it is extremely important to increasing your scores. No one knows the importance of practice better than PWBA titleist Carolyn Dorin-Ballard.
There's an old saying, practice makes perfect. And there's another one, always be prepared. What I like to do is I like to combine them both. Well, I might practice a little bit more than be prepared sometimes, but that's a personal thing. What I like to do is before I go out to practice, I like to have a game plan. I want to go into my practice session, and I want to know that I'm going in and I'm working on 1 or 2 things for that day. You don't want to be too focused on too many other things. It clutters your judgment. And not only that, you're not going to use your time well. I like to go in, and I may pick my arm swing and my ball speed. Whatever 2 things you decide to work on those 2 things and get to the point where you feel really, really comfortable in your practice. Once you're done doing that, what I like to do is I still like to play around with some different balls and some different angles on the lane. And what I do is I'll take a ball that really hooks, flares a lot, hooks down the lane, and I like to try the 5, the 10, the 15, the 20 board, just to see what it would do. Also, I use a ball that doesn't flare as much, doesn't hook as much. That gives me another look. And I always like to have the old spare ball, because spares are very important. It keeps me sharp. Then what I like to do before I leave for the day is I want to go back, and I want to end my practice on the 2 things that I focused on. And I want to make sure I feel very good about it and very positive. If you find yourself during your practice session getting mentally tired or physically tired, walk around a little bit, loosen up your mind, think about something else, and come back and refocus in on the 2 things you're trying to accomplish. One thing you want to remember while you're practicing is it's not the quantity of practice, it's your quality of practice. You're going to be changing some things that aren't natural to you. So muscle memory is really hard. You might have had some bad habits for a long time. It's going to take a little while for your muscles to learn the new things. But remember, practice gets you on the road to perfection, and it's going to help you bowl to win.
Thank you, Carolyn, for this very important practice tip.
Take on the 98 Robbie Award winner, Liz Johnson, in the semifinal match. We're back at the Greater Orlando Classic at AMF Altamont Lanes. We're in Altamont Springs, Florida. Ready for the semifinal match. It'll be Liz Johnson against Julie Gardner. Liz Johnson has elected to go first. She's from Niagara Falls, New York, 25 years old. Pro for just 4 years, but what a 4 years it's been.
Liz is a very strong player. I look for her to come out striking.
Wow, that didn't look quite that bad, did it, Lisa? Now for everybody at home, why did this happen?
Well, I said she was going to come out striking. Look at it, she hits the pocket. The 5 pin went right in front of the 8 pin. It just looked like a bad break, Jan.
She's going to take 1 and practice her 10 pin at the same time. Julie Gardner will step up. She really finished strong that last match with 4 in a row. 212 average for her prior to this telecast this week. And that looks like the same way she finished.
We're going to look at Julie Gardner. Look at the classic style. She has a little bit of late timing. Watch, her foot is at the foul line. Ball's a little bit behind it. Julie said she's going to work on that in between swings here and wants to fix that. You know, sometimes late timing is an asset, though. There's many players out here that do have late timing, but it works because, you know why? They repeat the shot every time.
Even the 10 pin, it seems to be working for her tonight, especially the way the game has changed. I think more and more players have late timing and just kind of pull the ball through.
Right, it can create a little bit more of a power game for players. And, you know, sometimes I guess that's the way the game's going sometimes. Power does not hurt you.
Just catches the inside of that 10 pin and a smile from Julie. A little bit of relief. Liz Johnson now up in the second frame, trailing by 11 already, but a lot of bowling left this match.
It's early yet. 220 average for Liz this week, qualifying second.
Well, Liz recently signed with Hammer Pro Staff. We asked her how difficult it was to make this change.
It took me a couple of weeks to figure out the new equipment. It was a little bit opposite of the equipment that I have used in the past year. But I think with the stronger ball roll and with my higher ball speed, I think that it's going to help me out this year.
Seems to be helping her out this week. Stepping up in the third frame, trailing by 11, can cut it to 1 pin if she strikes here in the third. A little bit light, 2-4-5. Liz has a very good record as number 2 seed. She's 6-1 from that position.
Ball's going to go pretty far down the lane here before it hooks. Just not quite enough oomph in it, I guess you could say. Or maybe the lane was a little long.
Covered that spare up. And Julie Gardner stepping up on lane 12 on the shorter lane of the two.
There you go.
Last title, 98 Samstown Invitational. That was a huge victory.
She put on an awesome show there.
Errant shot there, Lisa. There's Bill Calhoun looking on. He is the rep for Visionary Bowling Products. That's the equipment Julie is using today. He looks a little puzzled, maybe?
Well, he just saw the player using his equipment slide by the head pin, but no matter, picks it up. Classic conversion here. Watch this, head pin into the 10. And she's pleased right there.
Same way we saw Carolyn Dorin-Ballard do it in the first match. She leads by 7 pins here. Back in the pocket, but leaving a 4-pin. Julie Gardner wanted to send her condolences to the family and friends of one of her sponsors, Benny Buteling, who recently passed away. She's dedicating her appearance this week to him. Julie spares it up, leads by 7 pins. When we return, the semifinal action continues from AMF Altamont Lanes. We're back, and while we were away, Liz Johnson took over the lead after throwing 3 strikes and a spare. Julie Gardner converted another huge split, actually a washout. She's putting on a clinic in spare making.
Absolutely is. Oh, boy, this is going to have to be a very impressive clinic if she makes this, boy.
Well, I'm going to go to her clinic if she does.
She's concentrating right now on getting the ball to roll up pretty early because, you know, you did see her slide by, and look at that. She definitely got it rolling early there. Left herself with a near impossible split.
She gave it a run, though. taking 2, getting as much wood as possible since she was on a strike. Liz Johnson now up in the 8th frame.
See her max score right there, 238 for Liz.
There's her dad, Conrad Johnson. He flew in today. He was flying in anyway to help her drive home, so it really worked out well. He has never been to a telecast.
Now, Liz said last night it was all bonus.
Yeah, she was pretty excited about him being here.
They support her 100% in her bowling, and they're very good to her, and I know that she was very happy to have him come in and watch.
Well, Liz leads by 32, can take it to 42. Didn't quite get there. There's Jim Callahan, Fab Ball Tour consultant. He is coaching Liz today.
Helps so many of the players out here each week.
Liz just needs to try to stay clean, convert this 4-8. No problem. And Lisa Bishop, the 97 Rookie of the Year, presented the award to Jody Ellis, who is the 98 Rookie of the Year. Congratulations to both ladies. Lisa Bishop, an outstanding year in her rookie season, as did Jody Ellis in 98.
There it is, Joe. Way to go, babe. She's done it all week long, babe.
We talked to Julie about what she did at Samstown and how it helped her.
I think it's helped me my confidence, especially over the last 4 weeks, and to make ball changes, move on the lane more confidently, and it's just been a big learning experience for me.
Julie up in the 10th frame, and she's going to draw on that confidence right here. She needs to strike out.
Come on, Jules. One time, babe. One time. Come on. All right.
It's a break, carries the light mixer. She can go off the sheet for 196, which would force a mark out of Liz Johnson. But she needs them all, every single pin.
We see both of these players playing on the outside part of the lane. And that's where the condition we bowled on, you know, we said before, was flat. You had to find strips of oil to play up against. And that's what these players right now are doing. Sometimes you see them miss a little bit left, like right there, and it will hook pretty aggressively. And she just missed the strip she was playing.
Good try, Jules.
Bill Calhoun talking to himself there.
Come on, I wanted to pull it back. I knew it was going left. It's so easy when you sit behind the player to see that.
Well, I think it's a tribute to these bowlers, how good they are bowling right now, because they crossed the whole house all week, 42 games, average 213 to get here. This is not an easy condition to bowl on, Jan.
Liz Johnson stepping up in the 10th, now needs just 6 pins to finish off this match. And that's enough.
Well, I think Liz knew that that was enough, so she knows the score.
I don't know if she realizes she advances. She's taking her time on the spare here.
Get it.
All right, Liz.
Liz Johnson squeaked out a victory over Julie Gardner. When we come back, we'll recap tonight's action. So far tonight, Julie Gardner finished strong to take the opener. In match 2, Liz Johnson had just enough to defeat Julie Gardner 193 to 183, and we're coming to the end of the millennium. Who will be the bowler of the decade? Here's some stats to help you decide.
Wendy Macpherson and Marie Dugan, Leanne, Carol Giannotti Block. Boy, look at the averages. Hard to beat.
That's averages over the 9 years so far of this decade. The PWBA will roll back into action again on May 11th with twice the action. It'll be the Trek KO Punch Doubles from Samstown Hotel, Gambling Hall, and Bowling Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's Tuesday, May 11th at 4 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Coming up, the battle for the championship, Liz Johnson will challenge the top seed, Leanne Barrette. There's a trophy that they'll be fighting for here at the Greater Orlando Classic. Championship match is about to begin. Liz Johnson will step up first, and she'll be taking on Leanne Barrette.
I think I heard about 50 players this week say that they wanted to take home that trophy.
I said that myself when I walked in the door. Darn, I should have bowled. Beautiful trophy.
Oh, I bowled, and I'm still not going to take it home.
Well, I was dreaming a little, but coming up high on that first shot, leaving a 4-pin. So there won't be any 300 for Liz Johnson, but she shot a 300 on this pair earlier this week. We were hopeful that she was going to capture that MasterCard $50,000 bonus for a 300 game. There you see it. That was right here on this pair of lanes, but it won't be for Liz Johnson this week. Leanne Barrette, however, still has a shot at it.
That's right, and she has 29 career 300s, so watch out for her.
31 years old, been a pro for 13 years. Oh, but slow Messengers, but a good opening shot. Tish Johnson finished up in 8th, going home for foot surgery over the break. Anne-Marie Dugan made a big move, 23rd and 9th the last day. Dana Miller-Mackey in 10th wants to say hi to her niece, Adrienne. Whoa, look at that ball. That's an interesting look to it. Talk about strips.
I believe they call that a zebra. Here in 12th place, Kim Adler, you saw her on 2 telecasts this swing. Sandra Jo Shirey, Carol Norman, both made all 4 cuts in this swing.
Leanne Barrette here up in the 2nd frame. Defeated Liz Johnson 213 to 172 earlier this week during match play.
Good shot.
And there's her first strike. Looked a little surprised almost.
She did give us a little bit of an extra glance there at the end. I think she knew, though, that that was going to strike. She threw that ball great.
Liz Johnson now up in the 2nd frame. Big shot. That ball was driving hard. Now, Lisa, she told us that she had to throw harder as the lane started to break down.
That's right. She started this week trying to get a little bit softer with her speed, as we see ball right in the pocket. And she said after the first 6 games of qualifying, she abandoned that game plan, went right back to her natural game, which is hard and straight.
All even here through 2 frames.
Liz also said that she waited for the players that did hook the ball, such as Leanne, to push the oil down the lane that gave her a hold. So let's watch to see what type of reaction develops for Liz.
Leanne stepping up in the 3rd frame, working on a strike. So Leanne playing farther left on the lane, pushing the conditioner to the right. For a player like Liz playing farther right, she gets to use that. And coming up high, leaving the 310. She has some pretty good odds of making this, though.
Absolutely. Leanne hooks the ball so much. You know, sometimes it can be a little bit uncontrollable for her. And look at the ball goes crossing over, leaving the 310. There's 2 ways to make this, but the preferred way is to get the ball to take out both the 3 and the 10. So she's going to want to get to the right of the 3, go to the 10. You can get lucky, hit to the left, but it's not the best way to do it.
Ooh, and she misses that spare, but Leanne's had a great swing, finishing 1st, 7th, and 17th. She told us why she's been successful.
Most of the time, I'm just happy to make all the cuts in the swing, you know, but I've had a little extra help this swing with Ebonite and our new equipment that's come out. And we've had a ball rep. Randy Stoughton was here for 3 weeks, and then now Del Ballard's been here this week, and they've really helped me a lot.
Leanne Barrette up in the 4th frame after that open frame. Now trails by 22, and there's Del Ballard looking on. He's the Ebonite rep.
He does have a mic on, so let's listen for any advice he may give.
Yeah, there you go.
And big shot by Leanne Barrette. coach. Liz Johnson now stepping up in the fourth, leading by 22, can take it to 32 with one more strike. And there it is. She's jumping out to a big lead here in the beginning of this match.
That right there is the strong, aggressive Liz Johnson that we've seen before, and that is her comfortable game. She is at her best when she can play the part of the lane that she's playing and throw it that way.
So these two ladies tied in match play.
That was the last game of the tournament, Jan. They tied, and that did leave enough room right there for Liz to stay in second. Wendy was third, could not go around her when she did tie Leanne that last game.
And a big mixer giving Liz Johnson 4 in a row. She has a commanding lead, and we'll find out who will capture the Greater Orlando Classic right after this. Stay with us. Leanne Barrette up here in the fifth frame, working on a strike, trailing by 42. Needs this to get it back to 32. Almost a split. It's leaving an easy spare, though.
I think she made an adjustment off the last time. She went high that on the last frame in the third frame and left a 310. She did make an adjustment, but still a little bit too high. Going to change to the spare ball, go straight at it. What a pretty ball that is, too.
And covers it with no problem. Leanne had a lot of fun this week, she told us. I guess you would if you lead 5 out of the 6 rounds.
And the round that she didn't lead, she was second. Rough week, huh?
And there's what we're talking about. Led through most of the tournament. Look at the big jumps by Liz Johnson, Wendy Macpherson, Julie Gardner, steadily climbing her way up. Carolyn Dorin-Ballard. Leanne was the only one who was up there throughout the entire week. A 9 count. Trailing by 43 pins. She has to get something going. Do you have a suggestion for her?
Throw strikes.
Okay, well, that's why I have you here, Lisa.
I think what Leanne needs to do is take a little bit more time. I think she does feel like she's rushing a little bit, I think, and Leanne is a player that needs to be prepared. And she looks a little bit tense. You know, the first week when we saw her, just an awesome show, and she looked like she knew it was hers, and looks a little bit tense right now.
Meanwhile, Liz Johnson up by 43. This is the 6th frame, and that makes it 53.
Say you lay off the miles or what?
Look at this ball coming at you. I'd hate to stand in the way of that one. The pins didn't like it too much either. Not a one standing.
.53-pin lead. Look at that. 4 frames left. I'll tell you one more strike here, and it's all but over. And there it is, and she knew it. Big strike for Liz Johnson. Max score 290. Leanne Barrette, meanwhile, max score 227.
Anything could still happen. You know, she still has room. She still has room for 6 strikes at the end of this game. She did say that she did move quite a bit on the lane this week. Often, if she was playing in quite a bit on the lane, she would move right and play straighter. That may be an option for her to do right now.
In 17th place this week, Tiffany Stambrough, a rookie, made 3 straight cuts. Lisa Bishop, 18th after 2 straight telecasts, and Chrissy Stewart out this week with a big finish.
In 21st, Kendra Cameron, only 2 years on tour, already has 1 title. Jennifer Swanson, very strong. I look for her in the telecast.
No problem with the spare for Leanne Barrette, but time's running out. She's thinking, Lisa. Not quite sure what she needs to do.
Well, you know, she did only have a 212 average on this pair. I believe she may have been low.
That was the lowest of our finalists.
Well, it may tell you something right there. The low end of the house hooked a little bit more, and she may be getting a little bit too early roll, as we see on the right lane when she's going high. That time I think she just tried to get a little bit aggressive with it and sent the ball down the lane too long.
Now that one never turned over. The 1-2-8 standing. But the best she can do now at this point is a 202. Very disappointing for Leanne Barrette. After such a strong week, she was so dominant compared to the other players. To come out here in one match and not have anything. You can see it written all over her face. Liz Johnson up in the 8th. One more, make it a 7-pack. And if you're wondering what happened with Alita Sill this week, you didn't see her in the top 24. She did not cash again this week. Still needs $8,083.
But I know this week, Del Ballard worked with her on her physical game. And I heard some pretty good things coming from Alita, so I think she'll be back pretty soon.
Another strike for Liz Johnson. She just can't miss.
Just keeps going, and look at this shot right at the pocket. Looks like the preferred line, but, you know, I definitely know Leanne just cannot play that line. It's just not in her game. What we were saying before may have happened, that the oil being carried down by Leanne's ball has set up a perfect shot for Liz Johnson.
So sometimes, as you can see here, power is not the key. Sometimes a big hooking ball can hurt you, but oftentimes it creates a lot of area. Covers a spare in the 9th frame. For Leanne Barrette, the best she can do is 191. You can see it there. Liz Johnson is the champion here and can go off the sheet for 290. MasterCard just squeaked out on this one. Leanne Barrette up in the 10th frame. Finishes second, 6,200, but a fine swing. This has to really encourage her for the rest of the year.
We see Del Ballard throwing his arms up in the air. I think the ball might have touched that 9, but, you know, when things aren't going your way, they just don't go your way. And look at him looking at it going, what happened there?
Covers up the spare.
I think they call that ball a zebra, her spare ball. I'd like to see a zebra that looks like that.
Yeah, I didn't notice any of those.
And there it is. Looks like a bullseye there,
That's what I was thinking, yeah. Liz will step up here in the 10th frame. She can take it off the sheet for 290. Ooh, there's a 9-pin, but Liz Johnson wallops Leanne Barrette to add the Greater Orlando Classic title to her resume. We'll be right back. The championship round finals of the Greater Orlando Classic are being brought to you by AMF Bowling Worldwide, the largest owner and operator of bowling centers in the world and one of the leading makers of bowling products. AMF always means fun. And by MasterCard. There are some things in life money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. There's your champion of the Greater Orlando Classic, Liz Johnson. Final score 269 to 180. Coming in with all the dollars is the manager at AMF Altamont Lanes, Mike Carr.
Liz, congratulations on a great week. On behalf of AMF and Altamont Lanes, I'd like to present you with the winner's check.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you very much.
You.
That was 11,500, and Reg Sigmund, the assistant manager here, with a beautiful trophy.
And here's something with your name on it. We hope to see you back to defend your title next year. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Back this way.
Lisa Wagner.
Liz, it looked like the tournament just came to you. You said that you waited for the bowlers that played in to make your shot. Did that happen tonight?
I didn't have a great shot during the practice session. I think after the first match, I got a little bit of carry down, and it gave me a little bit of hold, and I think I took advantage of that. So.
And your dad being here?
Yeah, it was really special. He doesn't get to come to too many tournaments, and for him to fly down for this TV show is really special. Thank you.
You shot 300 on this pair earlier in the week. Were you thinking about it tonight?
No, I just wanted to go in and just bowl good match and bowl the best I could.
Congratulations. That's it from the Greater Orlando Classic, where Liz Johnson is your champion. For Lisa Wagner, I'm Jan Schmidt saying so long for now. We want to congratulate all of the winners of the Winter Swing. Be sure to join the PWBA when we return to action in May.